Warm my bed tonight. Follow me.
The kitchen knife slipped from my hands and clattered against the counter when I heard his voice behind me. Warm my bed. 3 words. Cold as winter, steel. Dae-hyun stood in the doorway of the mansion's kitchen, blood dripping from his shirt sleeve, his dark eyes fixed on me like I was prey. My heart beating against my ribs. This was it. The moment every woman working in this house feared. The moment when the monster finally showed his true face. I am Maya. And this is the night my life changed forever. Welcome back to my channel, everyone. Before we dive deeper into this emotional roller coaster, please hit that subscribe button and smash the like icon. This story is going to take you through pain, vulnerability, and a love so unexpected it will leave you breathless. It is a tale about seeing beyond the surface and finding humanity in the most unlikely places. If you are new here, subscribe right now, drop a like, and comment below telling me where you are watching from. Trust me, you do not want to miss what happens next. Now, let us continue. I stood there frozen, my brown skin glistening with sweat from hours over the hot stove. Dae-hyun was the most feared Korean mafia boss on the West Coast. Men tremble mide when he entered a room. Businesses crumbled at his word. And now, he wanted me in his bed. Move, he said, turning away and walking toward the grand staircase. My legs felt like concrete, but I forced them to work. I followed him up the stairs, each step feeling like a march toward my doom. The other staff had warned me. Stay invisible. Do your job. Never look him in the eye. I had kept my head down for 6 months, cooking elaborate meals, staying silent, trying to forget the life I ran from in Atlanta. The hallway stretched forever. His bedroom door stood open, dim light spilling out. I stepped inside, and my breath caught. The room was massive, decorated in blacks and grays, cold and impersonal. Dae-hyun sat on the edge of his king-sized bed, peeling off his blood-soaked shirt. I saw the scars. So many scars across his chest and abdomen, like a roadmap of violence. He looked up at me, and for a split second, I saw something unexpected in his eyes. Exhaustion. Deep, soul-crushing exhaustion. Close the door, he said. I did, my hands shaking. Come here. I walked toward him slowly, preparing myself for whatever came next. I had survived worse. I could survive this. But then, Dae-hyun did something that shattered every assumption I had made. He lay back on the bed, fully clothed except for his shirt, and closed his eyes. I just need warmth, he said quietly. Nothing more. Lie beside me. I stood there, confused. What kind of game was this? I am not going to hurt you, Maya, he said, eyes still closed. I cannot. Cannot? The word hung in the air, heavy with meaning I did not understand yet. What do you mean? I whispered. His jaw tightened. He was silent for so long I thought he would not answer. Then he spoke, his voice barely audible. 3 years ago, I was shot during a territory war. The bullet damaged my spinal cord. I am impotent. I cannot perform as a man. So when I say warm my bed, I mean exactly that. I am cold, I am tired, and I need another human being close to me. That is all. The confession hit me like a physical blow. This powerful, terrifying man was broken in a way no one knew, vulnerable in a way that could get him killed if his enemies discovered it. Why me? I asked. Because you do not look at me with fear or worship, he said, opening his eyes to meet mine. You look at me like I am just a man. And right now, that is what I need. I should have run. I should have refused. But something in his voice, in his eyes, made me stay. I climbed onto the bed and lay beside him, keeping space between us. His body was warm, despite his claims of being cold. We lay there in silence, the distant sound of the city below the only noise. Then he started shivering. Not from cold, I realized, but from something deeper. Shock, maybe. From whatever violence he had walked away from, tonight. Instinctively, I moved closer and wrapped my arm around him. He stiffened at first, then relaxed. His breathing slowed. Within minutes, he fell asleep. I stared at the ceiling, wondering what I had gotten myself into. The next morning, I woke up alone. A note on the pillow beside me read, "Do not speak of this. Ever." I went about my duties in the kitchen, preparing breakfast for the household staff and Dae-hyun's men. They watched me differently now. Whispers following me everywhere. The boss had taken me to his room. What did that mean for the power dynamics in this house? Hwan, Dae-hyun's second in command, cornered me in the pantry. He was handsome in a dangerous way. All sharp angles and calculated smiles. "You have caught his attention," he said. "Be careful, Maya. Men like us do not keep things we care about. We destroy them." "I am just his cook," I replied, avoiding his eyes. Hwan laughed. "Sure. Keep telling yourself that." That night, Dae-hyun appeared in the kitchen again. Same command. Same walk upstairs. Same bed. But this time, we talked. "Tell me about yourself," he said in the darkness. "Why do you care?" I asked. "Because I spend my days surrounded by people who only tell me what I want to hear. I think you will tell me the truth." So, I told him. About growing up in Atlanta. About my passion for cooking. About the man I thought I loved, who put me in the hospital twice before I finally ran. About starting over in Los Angeles with nothing but my skills and determination. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, he was quiet for a long time. "The man who hurt you," Dae-hyun finally said. "Give me his name." "No," I said firmly. I did not run from one dangerous man to watch another one commit murder on my behalf. He turned his head to look at me. "Would it be murder? Or would it be justice? It would be you trying to fix something that is already broken." I said. "Some things cannot be fixed with violence." His expression shifted, something painful crossing his face. "You are wrong about that. Violence is the only language some people understand. Then why are you here with me, talking in the dark, instead of out there being violent?" I challenged. "Because I am tired, Maya. So tired of being that person. But I do not know how to be anything else." My heart twisted. I reached out and took his hand. His fingers tensed, then slowly intertwined with mine. "Maybe you start by being human," I whispered. "Just for a few hours each night, in this room. With me." And so began our strange arrangement. Every night, Dae-hyun would come to the kitchen and give his command. Every night, I would follow him upstairs. We would lie together, sometimes talking, sometimes in silence, always touching in small ways. A hand hold, my head on his shoulder, his arm around my waist. The household noticed. The whispers grew louder, but Dae-hyun silenced them with one cold look. 3 weeks into our arrangement, everything shifted. I was chopping vegetables when Dae-hyun entered the kitchen in the middle of the day, something he never did. His face was tight with anger. "A guest is coming tonight," he said. "You will serve dinner in the formal dining room. Do not speak unless spoken to. Do not look at him. Do you understand?" "Yes," I said, startled by his intensity. That night, I prepared a traditional Korean meal and served it in the lavish dining room. Dae-hyun sat at the head of the table, and across from him sat a man who radiated cruelty. Kim Jae-sung. I learned from their conversation. A rival boss from San Francisco. As I poured wine, Jae-sung looked me up and down with disgust. "So this is what you have been keeping warm at night," he said with a mocking laugh. "Tell me, Dae-hyun, can you even appreciate what she has to offer? Or is she just another decoration for your empty bed?" The room went deadly silent. "Careful," Dae-hyun said, his voice like ice. "Or what? Everyone knows about your little problem." The mighty Daehyun, brought low by a single bullet. You are weak now. Your empire is crumbling because you cannot even father an heir. Men do not follow weaklings. Daehyun stood slowly, and I saw murder in his eyes. Get out, he said quietly. Before I forget, we have a truce. Jae-sung left laughing, but I saw the fear in his eyes as he went. After the guards escorted him out, Daehyun turned to me. His face was a mask of rage and humiliation. I opened my mouth to speak, but he held up a hand. Do not, he said. Just do not. He left the dining room, and I did not see him for 2 days. On the third night, he appeared in the kitchen, but he looked different. Hollow. Defeated. I do not need you tonight, he said, not meeting my eyes. Something in me broke. I walked up to him and grabbed his face, forcing him to look at me. Yes, you do, I said. You need someone to remind you that you are more than what that man said. You are more than your worst injury. Now stop being a coward and let someone care about you. His eyes widened. No one had ever spoken to him like that. For a moment, I thought he would explode. Instead, his face crumpled, and I saw the boy beneath the monster, the human beneath the legend. He kissed me, desperate, hungry, full of need that had nothing to do with sex. It was about connection, about being seen, about being wanted despite everything. When we broke apart, we were both shaking. I cannot give you what other men can, he whispered against my forehead. I do not want other men, I whispered back. I want you. All of you. Exactly as you are. We went upstairs, and that night, something changed between us. It was intimate in ways that had nothing to do with physical bodies. He let me see his scars, all of them, inside and out. I let him see mine. We fell asleep wrapped around each other, and for the first time since I arrived at that mansion, I felt safe. But safety in the mafia world is always an illusion. I started noticing things. Hwan on phone calls that stopped abruptly when I entered rooms. Guards who seemed nervous around Daehyun. Small shipments going missing. Money not adding up in the books I accidentally saw when cleaning Daehyun's office. Something was wrong. One night, I could not sleep. I left Daehyun sleeping peacefully and wandered the mansion. I heard Hwan's voice coming from a study, angry and intense. I pressed myself against the wall and listened. He is weak now, Hwan hissed into his phone. The Maya situation has made him vulnerable. Jae-sung is ready to move. When he does, we step aside and let it happen. Then I take over what is left. Yes, I am sure. Daehyun is not the man he used to be. He cares about her, and that makes him easy to destroy. My blood ran cold. Betrayal. From his closest friend, his brother in all but blood. I ran back to the bedroom, my mind racing. If I told Daehyun, men would die. If I stayed silent, Daehyun would die. There was no good choice. When Daehyun woke the next morning, he saw my face and knew immediately something was wrong. Tell me, he commanded. So I did. I told him everything I heard. I watched his face go from disbelief to rage to something that looked like grief. Hwan, he said quietly. My brother. The man I trusted with everything. He got out of bed and dressed quickly, his movements sharp and violent. Stay here, he ordered. Do not leave this room. Do you understand me, Maya? No matter what you hear, you stay here. Daehyun, I started, but he was already gone. The sounds that came from downstairs over the next hour will haunt me forever. Shouting, gunshots, screaming, then silence. Daehyun returned covered in blood, none of it his. His eyes were empty. Hwan is dead, he said flatly. Half my men were with him. The other half are hunting down the traitors now. Jae-sung will come for me within days. This is not going to end well. Maya. Then we leave, I said, desperately, We run, start over somewhere else. He laughed bitterly. I cannot run. I am the head of this family. If I run, I am dead anyway. My only choice is to stand and fight. Then I will fight with you, I said. No, he said firmly. You will leave tomorrow. I have arranged for money and a new identity. You will go somewhere safe and forget you ever knew me. Absolutely not, I said, standing to face him. You do not get to push me away now. We are in this together. You do not understand what is coming, he said, his voice breaking. They will torture you to get to me. They will use you as a weapon against me. I cannot let that happen. Too bad, I said. I am staying. He grabbed my shoulders. Desperation in his eyes. Why? Why would you stay for a broken man who can give you nothing but danger? Because I love you, I said simply. Because you are not broken, you are surviving. Because when you hold me at night, I finally feel whole again. Because we deserve a chance at something real, even if the world burns down around us. He kissed me then, and it tasted like goodbye. 2 days later, they came. I was in the kitchen when the windows exploded inward. Men poured into the mansion. Guns blazing. Daehyun's guards fought back, but they were outnumbered. I heard Daehyun shouting orders from somewhere above. I grabbed a knife, the only weapon I had, and ran toward the sound of his voice. I found him on the second-floor landing, surrounded. 3 of Jae-sung's men had him pinned down behind an overturned table. He was shooting back, but he was running out of ammunition. I did not think. I just acted. I came up behind one of the gunmen and drove my kitchen knife into his shoulder. He screamed and spun around, his gun pointing at my chest. Time slowed down. I saw his finger tighten on the trigger. Then Daehyun was there, shoving me aside. The bullet meant for my heart hit him in the side instead. He went down hard. No, I screamed. The chaos of the fight faded into background noise. All I could see was Daehyun bleeding on the floor. His remaining guards swarmed the attackers, finishing them off. Someone dragged me away from Daehyun's body as medics arrived. The next 72 hours were a blur. Private hospital, surgery, waiting, praying to any god who would listen. Daehyun's remaining loyal men guarded us, while out in the city, a war raged for control of his territory. When Daehyun finally opened his eyes, I was sitting beside his bed, holding his hand. You are an idiot, were his first words. I laughed through my tears. You are the idiot who took a bullet for me. Because losing you would kill me more than any bullet could, he said, squeezing my hand weakly. Jae-sung? I asked. Dead, Daehyun said. My men found him trying to flee the city. This war is over. But Maya, I am done. I am done being this person. I am done building an empire on blood. I am done sacrificing everything for power that means nothing when I almost lost you. What are you saying? I asked. I am saying, I want out. I want to dismantle this organization, go legitimate, and build a life that does not end in violence. But I cannot do it alone. I need someone who sees me as more than the monster I have been. Someone who believes I can be better. I need you. I leaned forward and kissed his forehead. Then, let us build something beautiful from these ashes. The next 6 months were not easy. Daehyun faced resistance from within his own organization. Some men left. Some had to be forced out. Money was complicated. Businesses had to be restructured, and dangerous enemies had to be pacified or eliminated. But through it all, we stood together. He bought a small house outside the city, far from the mansion and its ghosts. I opened a restaurant, something I had always dreamed of. Daehyun invested his cleaned money into legitimate businesses. We built a life that looked nothing like the one we left behind. 1 year after the attack, we lay in our bed, in our small house. No guards outside the door. No guns under the pillow. Just us, wrapped in each other's warmth. Your bed is warm now, I whispered into the darkness. Daehyun pulled me closer and kissed the top of my head. Because you are in it, he replied. He was right about one thing. Some things cannot be fixed with violence, but they can be healed with love, with patience, with the courage to be vulnerable, and with the willingness to build something new from broken pieces. The impotent mafia boss who commanded his cook to warm his bed found something more valuable than power or empire. He found redemption in the arms of a woman who saw past his scars to the man underneath. And I, running from violence, found safety with the most dangerous man I had ever met. Because sometimes, the monsters are just broken men, looking for a reason to be human again. And sometimes love is the only weapon strong enough to defeat the darkness. This is my story. This is how 3 words changed everything. Warm my bed. And I did. Forever. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more emotional stories. Drop a comment below telling me what you think and where you are watching from. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next story.